Earth Angel Rachel. I'm back again. I know it's been a little while since I posted. I've been doing a lot of introspection and, a lot of, well, investigating, I guess is the best way to put it. Um, it's getting near the end. I'm getting all my energy back finally. Everybody in my family and the cult coven masons, everybody who was sucking off of my energy for so long is finally being blocked, and I can feel it coming back to me, and it's really nice. It's crazy. I never really did know how it felt to be my full self, um, with all my energy, because it was always being tapped since I was a small child, or since birth. But anyways, people are dying. People are really sick. People are being arrested. There's going to be some really serious raids. It's going to be a big fall. There's going to be a massive, massive tower that reaches across the states and beyond. And it's going to be such a relief when it's over. I feel, it's obviously it's at the end, and the worst is so far behind me now. Thank God. I really don't have anything to say to my family members. They're dead to me. My brother Eric, I nothing hurt more in the world to me than when my brother Eric died in the way that I thought he had died. I was just it was heart-wrenching pain. I was torn up about it for so long. It was so hard. It's so much harder than when my parents died, And to think that all three of these deaths were not real. To think that somebody could sit back and watch somebody go through that kind of pain, knowing it wasn't necessary, knowing, and have it be for nothing but evil reasons to try to destroy me. You know, when my mom died, my brother and my dad said that they thought that I had killed her, and I guess they thought that would destroy me, and it pretty much it did for a minute. Uh, and then when my dad died, my brother said it was my fault, and that was kind of hurtful, but you know, I knew better. I knew that my dad didn't kill himself. I mean, I knew. I really thought somebody had killed him. I didn't really realize he was still alive until I got a reading and I found out. But when my brother died, then they set it up to where everybody, because Johnny, my boyfriend at the time, was in on it, they made it to where it looked like it was my fault, that I had set him up, or whatever, and they tried to put that on me just because they thought it would destroy me. Knowing all along that they're all alive. They were all alive, and I just pray that my brother did it for good reasons. I mean, it's hard to imagine. I mean, I just hope that he is walking with God, and that he is doing something good in the end. I hope that maybe all I can pray is that he is possibly did it, on the down low, to be undercover, to bust them, because of what they were doing. Um, I pray to God that he didn't do it out of greed and nasty evilness, like they did, and so time will tell. I mean, time will tell. And even if he went into it with bad intentions, I hope that he's found God and he's seen the truth, and he's, can, like, honestly wants to change. I mean, I pray that for him. If he went into this with bad intentions, I have no need to talk to him. I do not need to talk to him ever again. I consider him dead. If by chance he was working for the good of mankind and the good of people, to try and get these people, these sickos, off, the streets, then I that would be amazing. That would be amazing. I'm not gonna hold my breath. I love him, and I hope he loves himself enough to not be an evil sicko like they are. My brother Tim is he was born out of hate and evil, and he was demon seed from the gates. So there's really no hope for him. He just he works for the devil. He always has, and he's proud of it. On the other hand, if there are children, because all my readers say that I have two other children besides the one that I have raised that I love dearly, my daughter. There are two others, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, the girl, the young teenage girl, was taken the last time I was pregnant, and it was a really awful, painful pregnancy, and it was thought that it would be better to terminate, and because I was having such a hard time, I could, it was just in excruciating pain, but they yeah, they said they terminated the pregnancy, and my mother took the child. All along, I didn't know she was alive, my mom, nor the child. And then there's a boy who's older, and I'm not certain, because I had a few miscarriages. I'm not certain how old he is, or who his dad is. Anthony Ford is the father of the little girl. Nobody knew that, but that's how they can identify her, because that's who her dad is. And so and I think that, I don't know if what's happened to her. I haven't heard anything about her in a little while. I know she was just right there with my mom, just being evil as could be, doing hateful, evil things, and wanting me dead. So whatever. It's like whatever. So, but the boy, I hope that, I mean, from what I feel is that he's been led down the wrong road. They both have. They've both been misled completely and told horrible things about me. I didn't know either one of them were alive. I didn't know they existed. I'm a very loving person, a very nurturing mom. I love my babies. I hold them and nurture them, and I tell them I love them all the time. My daughter, but I would, any child of mine. I love children, my children, and I certainly hope that he's not beyond reach. I hope that he has a mind of his own, and that this witchcraft shit hasn't gotten completely to him. I hope he could get, be saved from it. I would love to know, him, them. I feel like, I don't feel like she could be, I feel like she's too far gone, honestly. But I mean, I hate to say that. It's sad to say about a child, but that's my feeling inside my heart, like my gut, and I know things. But I just want the best for everybody. I want everybody to be happy, but you can't be happy when you're living, when you're high on all kinds of shit, worshiping the devil, praying on a daily basis to Lucifer, to have your maternal mother die. That's not gonna. You're not. It's bad. And so we'll see. I mean, I have a lot to look forward to, and I have a lot of beautiful work to do. When the money is released, I plan on helping so many people with it, and building, animal sanctuaries, and I mean, I can't tell you the types of things that I would love to do for people and animals in need, and just people in general, just because it's nice to do for, but and it'll be nice, to not have to worry about living, paycheck to paycheck. But I don't think about that. That's not what I think about. I think about saving the monkeys, and I do look forward to having a yacht, some acreage, and being able to get back to the dirt. You know, I love the dirt. I love to garden. I love, Mother Earth and the trees, and I really look forward to picking a couple little puppy dogs out, when I can have space for them. I'd like to get me a couple little, fuzzy face, uh, wire haired griffins. And I would love to do that with a special someone. I know that my forever man is there, and I know God has him for me somewhere there. I'm not exactly sure where. I haven't met him, but I can feel him. And I want nothing more than to work in the garden with my husband, and play with the dogs, and hang laundry, and uh, you know I have so many things I like to do. I like to sew. I want to have a big sewing room. I love to do, woodwork, and I like to make jewelry. I'd love to teach women who want to learn some of these things, just teach them for free and have them come. I like to work on cars. I like, to study geology, and I love to, cut and work with stones and crystals, and excuse me. There's so many things that I love to do, and that I am talented at and creative at, and I would love to share that with people. If I could have big, not warehouses, but, big buildings with multiple work areas for people to come and do these things, just because they want to learn, and how to, to live off the land, and how to can, and cook, or medicinal, herbs, and all that. um, I have so many things that I love to do, and that I would love to share with people. And if I had the money, I would love to be able to have the space built and everything, to share that with people, free of charge, just because they want to learn. And I want to give people what, things that can help them to down the road in their life, things that, are great. for a living, stuff that, survival things are always good, but just, making it, when you can make your own clothes, and you can, make your own soaps, and stuff like that. It's just fun, and it's empowering, because you don't need to live off of, you know commercial products, there's so much in there that's so bad for you. I just want to get back to the earth. I want to, give back to people, and I love God, and I love the my ancestors, and the angels. They're all so good to me, and I want to further my education in healing. I am a healer, and I have healed many ailments. My energy is very strong, and I wanna pursue that as well. And I'm gonna do what, the Most High wants me to do. I will follow His lead wherever He takes me, to help whomever He wants me to help, and that'll be grand, because I would love to travel as well. But back to the present right now. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I am, it gets better every day. Their witchcraft doesn't hit me. It doesn't get here. It never even comes close. The Most High does not let it. It returns to sender before it even gets goes anywhere. Never even goes anywhere anymore. It's just for themselves. They're just cursing themselves. So, I they need to just give it up. They need to give it up and try to, stop making it worse for themselves, because that's all they're doing. Sorry. They're making it worse for themselves, and it's almost over. And I'm so happy. It's almost over. I'm happy for everybody involved. You know, it's such an ugly, ugly spiritual war, but God was always gonna win. It was never gonna go any other way. And I just never knew what a important role I would be playing in it. And I'm just grateful for all the support. And if anybody wants to donate, my Cash App is below my name title on my page. um, you know you don't I'm not asking you to. It's just it's there if you want to. I will keep you updated, and as soon as everybody is rounded up and behind bars, then I think that we're going to have a big, a big, what would you call that? A homecoming almost. And, you know, just a big celebration of life, and of spirit, and of health and happiness, and just, of a job well done. So, anyways, I thank you all so much. I will get back to telling my story um, in detail, growing up with these Luciferians. Uh, I just don't feel like being, morbid, and I don't want to go to the ugliness today. I just don't feel like it. I feel good. I just want to share that with everybody, and let everybody know that I'm doing good. It's everything's on, on schedule. I guess if it had a schedule, it'd be on it. So I love you so much, everybody. I love all of you. So have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Earth Angel Rachel out.